Whoever said that kindness is always a virtue probably didn't experience the frustration of giving endlessly to others, only to feel taken for granted or disrespected in return. It's a tough realization, one that many of us have encountered, especially if you're trying to live by Stoic principles in a world that often misinterprets compassion as weakness. There's a common misconception that being kind means constantly pouring your energy into others without expecting anything back. But what happens when you give too much? When your kindness isn't acknowledged or valued, and you're left feeling drained and underappreciated? It's a difficult position to be in, and it's one that many of us know all too well. The idea that kindness makes you a target for disrespect is not just a sad reality, but a critical issue to address if we want to live in a way that preserves both our peace and our dignity. Today, we're going to explore the ways in which kindness can sometimes be misunderstood and taken advantage of, especially when it comes to the Stoic philosophy. We'll look at why setting boundaries is not just a smart choice, but a necessary one for preserving both your well-being and your dignity. Stoicism offers a deep understanding of self-respect and compassion, two concepts that, when balanced correctly, can help you navigate the world with strength and wisdom. If you've ever felt like your kindness is being used against you, or that your efforts are being disrespected, you're not alone. This discussion might just help you shift the way you think about both your interactions with others and the way you give of yourself. By understanding how to balance compassion with self-respect, we can avoid the trap of burnout and depletion that often accompanies giving too much without receiving anything in return. The Stoic understanding of kindness and boundaries. Navigating the tension between being kind to others and maintaining your own sense of self-respect can feel like walking a tightrope. On one hand, Stoicism teaches us the value of compassion and generosity. On the other hand, it emphasizes that we must be careful not to deplete ourselves in the process of helping others. In a world that often values self-sacrifice as the highest form of goodness, the Stoics offer a counterbalance. They understand that true kindness is not about giving until you have nothing left. It's about offering what you can with wisdom, and more importantly, knowing when to stop before your own well-being is compromised. Seneca, one of the most prominent Stoic philosophers, teaches that we must recognize our limits when it comes to helping others. If we give without regard to our own needs, we run the risk of resentment and burnout. This is where the concept of setting boundaries comes into play. By knowing when to say no or stepping back, we protect our own peace without abandoning the values of kindness and compassion. The danger of overgiving. One of the key reasons kindness can lead to disrespect is that people often take kindness for granted when it is given too freely. When we give without expecting anything in return, it may initially be seen as virtuous. But over time, others begin to view this generosity as a sign of weakness or someone who is easily manipulated. This is not just an unfortunate side effect of kindness. It's a predictable outcome in a world that often prioritizes self-interest over mutual respect. When you offer too much of yourself, you inadvertently signal that you have no boundaries, that you will always be available to give, and that your own needs are secondary to those of others. In doing so, you may begin to lose the respect of those around you, not because you are not kind, but because they begin to perceive you as someone who can be taken advantage of. The Stoic philosophers warn us against such behavior. They teach that true kindness is not a limitless resource, and that it is essential to know when to protect yourself from being drained by others. Being wise in your generosity means understanding that it's not always your duty to give, especially when giving becomes a one-sided transaction. Knowing yourself and your limits. At the core of Stoicism is the principle of self-knowledge. Marcus Aurelius, perhaps the most famous Stoic philosopher, writes about the importance of understanding our nature and recognizing what is within our control. In the context of kindness, this means being honest with ourselves about what we can offer and what we can't. If we offer help beyond our capacity, whether emotional, physical, or otherwise, we risk not only our own well-being, but also the potential for resentment towards others. The Stoic approach isn't about withholding kindness altogether. It's about offering what we can without compromising our own health, happiness, or peace of mind. When we act in line with our true nature, we don't give for the sake of approval or expectation. We give because it aligns with our values, and we give only to the extent that it supports both our own growth and the well-being of others. Practicing wisdom in kindness. So, how do we practice wisdom in kindness? First, we must learn to recognize when our acts of generosity are being taken for granted. If you consistently feel drained and unappreciated, it might be time to reassess your approach. The Stoics would argue that this is a moment for reflection. What are you gaining from these acts of kindness, and what are you losing? Are you offering help out of obligation or out of genuine desire to contribute to the well-being of others? The key is not to withhold kindness, but to offer it selectively. Focus on those relationships where your kindness is reciprocated with respect and where your generosity can have a meaningful impact. It's important to recognize that your own well-being matters just as much as the well-being of others. By offering compassion wisely, we preserve not only our emotional energy, but also the respect we deserve from those around us. The importance of self-respect in kindness. Ultimately, Stoicism teaches us that self-respect must be the foundation of all our actions. Kindness, when practiced wisely, can be a powerful tool for creating positive change in the world. But if it is not accompanied by self-respect and clear boundaries, it can quickly become a source of frustration and disillusionment. The Stoic philosophy encourages us to give, but to do so with awareness. Know when to step back and understand that you are worthy of the same respect and care that you offer others. Your time, energy, and resources are valuable, and it is important to protect them by establishing boundaries that preserve both your dignity and your peace of mind. Conclusion. Kindness, when practiced with wisdom and balance, is one of the most powerful ways to impact the world around you. But without the right boundaries, it can lead to burnout, disrespect, and frustration. The Stoics offer us timeless wisdom on how to navigate the delicate balance between being compassionate and maintaining self-respect. By understanding our limits, recognizing when our kindness is being taken for granted, and practicing self-awareness, we can cultivate relationships that are built on mutual respect and understanding. Remember, the Stoic way is not to give until you have nothing left,